What is going on, everybody? 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we are live for Ask Me Anything. We sent out a message today because today we're going to go over something really cool, and we have a special offer. So hashtag bonus if you're going to stay the whole time and listen for this special offer, because David is going to drop some bombs on you guys this weekend, and that's all I'm going to talk about that. So share this with your team. Hashtag live if you're coming in live. Hashtag replay if you're coming in on the replay. And what I wanted to do is, if you're a BTU student, if you're a current BTU student, do me a favor and hashtag BTU. Rep your colors, rep your flags. Hashtag BTU if you're a current student and you are in BTU. And then the last thing is, if you're not a current BTU student, hashtag CMM for Clever Moneymakers, because you got all the clever moneymakers here today. You got all three of us here. You got the trifactor. So hashtag Clever Moneymakers or CMM if you're not a current BTU student. And I want you guys to load up the chat, because we're going to ask questions today on container number 1, fundamentals. Look at that. I love all my BTU students. Boom. Deanna, Helen, Robin, thank you for trusting in us and being a BTU student. Terry, BTU students, awesome. Barbara, welcome. Hashtag BTU student, love that. Way to get here. Lorelai, awesome. CMM, perfect. So we're going to go deep into the fundamentals. And this is a perfect class. I'm not even going to call it class. This is perfect Ask Me Anything for you guys today, because we're going to start from the beginning. And now our fundamentals container consists of 4 main things. Mindset. You have to have your mind right to create a great business. Your ideal avatar or your ideal client. You want to know who you're talking to and why you're talking to them and what their problems are. Your offer, which we're going to go into if we have questions on the offer, and messaging. And a lot of times, if your offer is right and your messaging is right, at the end, the next phase is a lot simpler. So I'm going to turn it over to Fabian for a little bit to go over the 5 containers real quick, and then we'll come back to any questions. So drop your questions that you have on mindset, avatar, offer, or messaging. And Fabian Brown, take it away.
Boom. Questions about avatar, mindset, messaging, but more importantly than all of that, let's talk about business. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with the following statement. Network marketing is a real business. If you agree with that, put a 1 in the chat. Because here's how I think about it. I think it's not only a real business, but I think if you treat it like a real business, you will get real business results. So here comes the ones for all the people who are all about network marketing being a real business. So let's talk about real business containers, meaning you will find these silos, these containers, these frameworks, whatever IP, whatever fancy name you want to call it, you'll find these things in all types of businesses. So number 1 container, and if you're tracking with me, put foundations. That's the very first container. You can put foundations / fundamentals, because all businesses have foundations and fundamentals. That's what we're going to be talking about here today. The second container, if you're tracking with me, put the word marketing systems. Put that in the chat, because if you're running a real business, you should have a marketing system. You should have a way to make your brand, make your product, make your business, make your whatever. You should have some awareness out there in the marketplace, and you need to have a marketing system to be able to do so. So put marketing system if you're tracking with me. The third container, 1, 2, 3, is your sales system. Now that you have people coming to your front door, right, because you're marketing and you're attracting people who want to know about your product, your service, your business, you're going to have a mechanism on how to get them from just knowing you, from all those leads that you got coming in, to actually saying, here's my credit card. Here it is. Take my money, right? And you may call sales enrollment. Enrollment is sales, whatever you crazy kids are calling it that day. But that's container number 3. Put sales system if you're tracking. Love it. And the 4th container, after you actually sell somebody something, or actually after they've enrolled in your company, you're going to have to deliver your promise. So let's put the word delivery. And how that looks can be very different from one company to the next company, from one upline to the next upline. But your unique process on how you deliver the promise, your delivery system, is going to be unique to you. That's what's going to make people want to come to you and join your team or not. And last but not least, there's the deliveries. Last but certainly not least, and you may have heard this before, is duplication. Scaling and duplication. Because just because you got someone to join your team, your downline, your program, your business, whatever, right? You don't want to be stuck in the trenches forever. You want to scale. You want duplication. You want leverage. You want all these fancy things so you can have two things together. And those two things are time. The second one is money. When you have time and money together, the first step is financial independence. And after you've gotten financial independence, the next thing that you're striving for is financial freedom. Financial independence comes in the form of making enough money, and hopefully that's residual or that's leveraged money, where it's paying all of your household expenses, right? Like your stuff is covered, your expenses are covered, your mortgage, your car, your grocery bill, your gas, your electric, your cell phones, your whatever, right? That's covered. That's financially independent. Like, I don't got to do nothing today because I'm financially independent, right? But financial freedom is you doing that and giving multiple other people financial independence. Scaling and duplication, right? So that's the containers that we're talking about. And hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. If you are picking up what you're putting down in the chat, because I know we have some eager people that, like, look, if you are a network marketer and you want to brand a business that brands you as the expert, that brands you as the authority and not your MLM, congratulations. You've made it to the best place on Facebook, which is right here. Now, what are we talking about tonight, Eric? Which container are we talking about, sir?
We are talking about foundations and fundamentals. That's why it's on the board right here. And it's mindset, avatar, ideal client, offer, and messaging.
So this is your opportunity, good people in Munchkin Land. Just kidding, Facebook. This is your opportunity for you to ask questions about that container. So let me just riff while we wait for a nice little question to pop up here, right? So avatar happens to be one of those things in that container. Understanding who is, but more importantly, who isn't your ideal business partner, your ideal team member. So if you have questions about how to identify and how to clarify your avatar, go ahead and drop that in the chat. You know, another fundamental, another foundation is developing your core offer. Believe it or not, your MLM, that's not your core offer. That's the company's core offer. You have to come up with your own core offer. You're in business for yourself, right? So what is it that you can do? What is it that you can create that's going to separate you from the sea of sameness? Hashtag Eric Sablon, right? What's going to separate you from that? Like, what are you offering your people that's different than your sidelines, different than your upline, and different than what makes you unique, right? So if you have questions about how to develop your core offer, put those things in the chat. You know, another thing about fundamentals and foundations is your messaging, right? How you effectively communicate with that avatar, right? And when you're communicating with that avatar, it's almost like you're a mind reader, kind of, right? You're answering problems and frustrations and pain points and even goals and desires that they're not articulating verbally. You're answering them that they're thinking in their head, because you once upon a time used to be in the same shoes that they are in, but you've gotten some experience, you've gotten some skills, right? You've gotten some, you know, some stripes on your arm, right? I'm offering you, I love it. Right. Another thing about, you know, foundations is really the business model. What type of business model that you're putting up front? We teach a business model called paid prospecting. Paid prospecting is just a fancy little word, a fancy little term that means you can get paid even if someone doesn't join your team. And I know that sounds like witchcraft or some voodoo, but that's not. It's true. It happens all the time. Today, as a matter of fact, it happened. There's a couple of things on the Stripe account there, right? It's happened for our clients. There's a couple of things on their Stripe account too, meaning that they were able to offer something to their ideal audience right? They were solving a problem that their audience had, like a first step problem, and they offered something for a nominal price. I don't know, like under $100 or something like that, right? And that solved that problem. They didn't join their downline right away, and I know, oh, bummer, right? But what that person is doing, what we are doing, we are pre-qualifying that individual to see if they're even worth being in our downline. Because some people are, ooh, right? We don't want any, not in our downline, right? So what you do is you help them with problems first and see if they're actually going to take action on educating themselves and overcoming those problems. Those are the kind of people that you want on your team, people who are hungry. So is there any questions? There's a question. Man, boy, oh boy, can I talk. Didn't I say I wasn't going to talk today? I thought
you did. I just let it ride, though.
Oh, man, you didn't respond. That's why. All right. Do you believe the biggest roadblocks are the ones we imagine? Our own self-limiting beliefs. Man, you're so meta. I love it. I'm going to let Eric answer that one first.
Well, self-limiting beliefs are what you talked about yesterday in the imposter syndrome. And if you weren't in the class yesterday, if you're a BTU student, I'd suggest going back to yesterday's call and talk about and listen to what Fabian talked about imposter syndrome. And he broke it down into like the biggest roadblock that I think we have that they're all imagined. Like I always call it this: worry is debt. Worry is interest on debt you don't owe. Worry is interest paid on debt you don't owe. And that's the biggest problem. Like the self-limiting belief, Xander, I'm just going to say to you, the self-limiting belief that we are facing each other with is that whole imposter syndrome thinking. And we're not, I mean, when he broke down what imposter and fraudulent and all of those words were, we all had the aha moment that said, you know what, there's no way we're imposters because we're delivering value. So the biggest roadblocks are the ones that we imagine, yes. Our own self-limiting beliefs, yes. Now, what I would say is, Xander, how do you lean into that? As a group in here, how do you lean into that to make that struggle a strength? So I'm going to go turn that over to Fabian. That was an ask me anything, but it's more of this is mindset, Xander. So I'm going to let you think of the solution. How do you turn that from a struggle to a strength?
I would agree. I think the biggest roadblocks that people can face are the ones that are self-limiting. It's a shame. It's almost like its own pandemic that's happening rapidly across the business community. And that usually comes from the fact of they're trying to sell something or offer something that they maybe really haven't experienced yet, right? They're trying to sell the dream of financial freedom, to use this example, but they haven't hit financial freedom. Right? Or they're trying to sell it's so simple, it's so easy, when they know inside that it's not freaking simple, that it's not easy. You're saying all these things to try to get someone to come to your thing, your Zoom or whatever you guys are doing, and it's not working. It's coming across inauthentic. And that will cause some self-limiting beliefs because you're a fraud, because you're selling something that you're not, instead of coming out and being honest. Hey, look, I'm kind of newer to this network marketing game. I'm working with some people that are just having great success, and I'm lucky because I'm learning while I'm earning. And this may or may not be for you, but here's the deal. I have a complete clear vision on where I'm going with my life and where I'm going with my business, and I value our relationship. And you are someone that I thought is predisposed for business based on X, Y, and Z. And I really thought that if I can share some details with you, you can make an educated decision whether this is something that you want to do a joint venture with or not. Either way, no hard feelings, but I respect you as a person and as a businessman and as an individual. And I really feel that if we can connect our heads together on this one, there might be something to be had. But I want you to make the decision. I want you to make that personal choice. See, that's what a freaking professional would say. A professional wouldn't be like, I got 2 spots left. You want to come join my downline? Right? So that's my 2 cents. Is this the next question?
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay to change your branding and messaging when you refine your customer avatar? How much is too much? Ooh, I want to jump on this one first. Is it okay? Is it okay? Yes, but how fast you do it is really, really, you got to be mindful, and you got to be careful with that, right? Because here's the thing, and I learned this from David. Sometimes people want to change something before they saw the thing fully through out, before they exhausted all the possibilities. Like they want to pivot, and they really don't have enough skin in the game. They really haven't tried enough to even make a decision whether their thing is working or not working. And that could be a big, epic mistake. That could be the biggest mistakes, right? So before pivoting your branding or your messaging, ask yourself, have you exhausted your strategies, right? Have you consulted with someone? Are you working with someone? And have you said, hey, look, I've been trying this for X amount of time. What am I doing wrong? What am I missing? Or are you inside of your little bubble making these big decisions about changing your branding and messaging before you've really exhausted the strategies that you put in place? Like, how long have you been rocking these strategies? Or not? But is it okay to change your branding and message? 1001%. But you have to make a very, very educated decision, and you have to be careful on the pivot, right? It's going to be a shift. There's going to be more time involved with that. There's going to be more. There's so much that's involved, right? But to answer your question, yes. How much is too much? Well, again, it just depends on how long you've been in the game and how long you've been working the strategy before you see it to the end. How much is too much? I wouldn't be changing my avatar like every 3 months, or my branding or my messaging every 3 months, right? That question is really subjective. I don't want to answer that poorly here.
And I'm going to jump in on that, because sometimes you think that you may be changing your branding or message. And I think, I mean, because we've worked together, Deb and Xander, I think that sometimes you think you may be just pointing the message a little bit differently, but the branding at the end of the day is still the same. Like we talked about a month and a half ago, about a month ago, and you're like, well, I feel like I'm changing my avatar. You were changing your message, but at the end of the day, when we actually talked it out, the person that you wanted to work with, the avatar that you wanted to deal with, was the same person. You were just bringing them through a different doorway. And then on the refining my customer avatar, and just to hit what Fabian said on the head about making sure that you finished your messaging, that's why I always say it only makes sense to change your bot when you've had 100 people go through the bot, because the metrics will tell you where your problems are. If you don't have data, you're making emotional decisions on changing your branding or messaging or your bot or your strategy. So make sure you make your changes from data, not feelings.
That's so good.
And then I like what Heather said here. She said, Heather's actually new to the BTU community, but she's a coach, so you can just tell by some of the answers. Yes, you can change your avatar. You can niche down to find the perfect person you want to work with. And to be 100% honest, it takes a while. It takes a couple offers out there to actually niche down and find and create that real avatar. It's like the Epiphany Bridge story that you talked about today. We all have these external things that we want to accomplish, but really when you dive down, like the internal things, like the transformation that you have internally, is really, when you dig down into that, is where you find your real avatar, the real person, the real business partner that you want to work with. That's how you find a David Fabian. That's how you find a David and Fabian. You dig down, like on the surface, I was like, I don't even know if I want to work with these guys. But after I got to meet with them, after I got talking to them, it was like, boom, these guys are the ones, definitely the ones. So, I mean, it took a while. I wasn't ready for them. They weren't ready for me. And then when we all came together, when David put his magic together and figured it out, put the band together, and scary what's happened in the last 10 months.
If I could just real quick too, just add into that like, I think more often than not, it's the first thing that you spoke on, Eric, where you think that you're changing your entire avatar, but you're really just getting more specific with the type of person with that can be categorized with that avatar, right? So whenever we create a new level of program, we have the idea and we're set on a particular person, but in reality, you're not going to know if that's the right person until you actually sit down with them, right? And you actually start working through, and you'll start to realize that, especially as you progress in this journey, that especially when you're talking about your mentorship, right? Where we're not talking about like courses you may be selling, stuff like that. I mean, those of you that are in the BTU program that have made that investment, you know how much we spend with you guys, right? You know how much we're involved in this, how we're doing this, like literally, all day, every day. So what that means is like we start to realize like who it is we want to work with, or how much more honed in on the qualifying that we have to do, right? Those of you that are in this will eventually be your problem, but guess what? This is a luxury problem, right? This is a luxury problem. Okay, so luxury problems can still be stressful, can still be painful, can still have you in positions that you don't really know how to handle that, right? But by the time you get to this phase, you will have worked through so many problems and so many issues, because you have to work through problems. This isn't about figuring a way to go around. This isn't about figuring a way to pay somebody to make it go away, right? This is about working through what happens in business, right? This is real business. This is the difference between, just, hey, this is my network marketing thing, or like this is our livelihood and legacy, and it's important, right? Once you start bringing on so many students and you want to continue to provide the same amount of value, you will continue to get more and more specific with the qualifications of your avatar, right? Because you understand that like results is your credibility, all these types of things, and how much time you're spending with this person. And it's not to say that you can't serve them, right? You find solutions to get them to the point when they're ready for that, right? You teach them about positioning yourself and putting yourself in the momentum of being where you want to be, right? And sometimes that means having maybe a conversation that says, hey, listen, I don't think you're ready for this yet. However, we have a solution, and it will position you to be 100% ready for this. If you're open to that, we can discuss that option, and maybe it might even save some money in your pocket for now and put some money in your pocket so that once the time comes for you to upgrade, then it's not such a financial burden on you, and we've already provided the value to put you into that position anyways. So, there's other ways to handle that, but like the more people that you bring in, it's important that the quality doesn't diminish. And that means you have to get real specific about who you're working with, how many people you're working with, and knowing the numbers of your business so that you can be aware if quality is dropping. So, but yeah, it's not really necessarily you're switching everything. You're just developing, right? And the longer you stay in mentorship, the longer you stay in this industry doing this. And if you are working towards being a coach or mentor, whether it's us or somebody else, you should be in mentorship, right? I'm not going to invest into a mentor that's not in mentorship, period. It's not going to happen. So, and that's a good thing. So be invested, because you need to know what you should be delivering at that level. And base it off of the person's results, right? Adopt these mindsets. This is the mindset of foundations of your business. You do not want to build a business on a shaky foundation. You wouldn't live in a house with a shaky foundation. Why would you build the thing that's going to pay for your house with a shaky foundation, right?
All right. That was money, David. Thank you. It looks like the questions are off. So we've got 3 minutes, 2 minutes till the half hour. So do me a favor, everyone in the room that's a BTU student, and I know you guys did this earlier, and I'm going to wait a little bit because there's a 17-second delay because right now I'm going to launch and share something phenomenal with you guys. So do me a favor and hashtag BTU if you're a current BTU student, because this bonus offer is for all BTU students. Then I'm going to ask you another question to further qualify you to see if you guys are ready for this. So light up the chat, hashtag BTU if you're a BTU student. And okay, here we go, Terry. Sweet. Boom, boom. All right. So you guys are playing full out. Thank you guys for playing full out. So here's the second question for everybody. How many of you guys have nothing on your calendar or plan on clearing your calendar for 2 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday? This Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Type in the number 2 p.m. and I will drop the bonus for you guys because this is going to be phenomenal for everyone that's a BTU student, everyone that is clear on 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What's the bonus?
I'm waiting. All right, let's see. Boom, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Marlo, yes. I love this. So I know it's BTU. We've got all of our BTU students. Congratulations for being BTU students anyway, all of you guys. We've got 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lisa Wages, Heather, Helen, Deb Rock playing full out, Marlo playing full out. All right, so this is the first time anyone's ever hearing about this. You might have heard this in closed doors or in special calls or in special things. We're announcing it right now. David is doing a special training called the 30-Day ROI Battle Plan and Blueprint. So if you want to figure out a way, I had an important call, Dave. If you want to figure out a way to ROI in the next 30 days, and ROI is just whatever you're going to put it on, but David is going to create a step-by-step battle plan and blueprint for you to launch something by the end of March to ROI all of your efforts. So if you're ready to play full out, we say this all the time, hashtag ROI, because what we want to do is we want to get you guys some return on investment in 30 days. And here's what also you're going to do. A byproduct of ROIing in 30 days, you're going to position yourself as a leader. You're going to position yourself as an authority. You're going to have an evergreen tool that you'll be able to create later on. And the week before you guys do what David's talking about, you'll be able to model exactly what we did the week before. So if you want to learn something that we're doing, but you guys can do by yourself, for yourself, and ROI for yourself, and ring the bell like the Drop Funnels community talks about, that Xander and those guys have talked about. If you want to ring the bell, become an authority, create something that you've never seen before in your life, because what it's going to do is it's going to create an audience for you. Clear out the calendar at 2 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday. Be present, cameras on, be ready, take notes. If you have multiple computers, be ready for all of that. Take notes, because David's going to drop some amazing frameworks and blueprints and action steps for you guys to go out, take action, and win. So again, hashtag ROI if you're interested, and I will reach out to you personally, and I will give you the registration link for the Zoom call. It's not going to be something that's going to be everywhere. You have to hashtag ROI or send me a message in Messenger ROI, and I will send you back the registration link. This is VIP access. You're a BTU student, you have my messenger number. So if you want to register, you want to find out where all the cool kids are, like Fabian says, hashtag ROI inside the chat, send me a personal messenger message, and I will shoot you back the code to get into the room and register for the Zoom room, because David is going to drop some bombs this weekend. And if you guys do what we say or what David says, I'm telling you right now, you will have the mindset issues will be gone. You will have registers ringing. You will have authority. You will have an audience, and you will have ROI on your money. Anyone down for that? So I closed the loops, just so you guys know, because I gave you everything that you need to do. You need to hashtag ROI in the chat, so it blows up the chat. You need to send me a note that says ROI in Messenger. And if you're not a BTU student, send a note to Fabian. I want in, and he'll talk to you about figuring out how you got to get in. So you got to send a note to Fabian. I want in, if you're not a BTU student. So guys, that's all we got. We got a ton of people hitting the chat. 2 PMs, yes, ROI. Deb and Xander, smash this, fellas. All right, ROIs. All right, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Here's what I'd say. Take action on whatever you're doing. You're halfway to getting to your goals. Whatever you wrote down on Monday, double check and make sure you're on track. If you're not, double down on it. If you need to do something, if you need some support, reach out to us inside the messenger tag in the BTU group. Not the messenger tag, but the tabs for support tabs in the messenger group. And Fabian, that's all I got. My throat's a little sore. I want you to close this one out for me.
Okay. Be there, be square, guys. Thanks for participating. I really appreciate all the guys in Facebook world, and I'll see you guys when we're looking at you. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, David.